G'day everyone. Today I'm just going to go through the basic use of a Trangia. For those that don't know, a Trangia is a cook set. It's been around for a very long time. They first came out in the 1930s, I believe. They've been very, very popular. They've been used in military operations. They've been used for lots of years by bushwalkers and just outdoor enthusiasts like myself. Now, there's different types of stoves when you're bushwalking and cooking in the outdoors. There's gas stoves, there's fuel stoves that run on shallite and unleaded petrol, and they generally cook the fastest. And then there's alcohol burners, which is where the Trangia falls in. There are smaller, more compact alcohol burners, but none of them are as good as the Trangia. For years I wanted a Trangia, and it was only just last month my lovely wife Lauretta bought me one for my birthday at adventure camping and fishing in Wangaratta, and I am stoked. Now let's have a look. Firstly, it comes with a strap to hold it all together in one piece. And the strap's got a little claw on it. So I'll undo the strap by pushing the button on that claw or strap holder, take the strap off. This is a bit more bulkier than a lot of the gas stoves. Where it isn't as convenient in some ways, it's more convenient in others, and I'll go into that towards the end of the video. Now let's pull it to bits and see what we've got. The lid, that's the lid. You can put it on top of the pots when they're boiling, but it's also a frying pan. One handle to save on weight and to make it more compact. It comes with one handle, which is like a set of vice grips. There's my frying pan handle. Right, we've got the lid or the frying pan. This is the stand, sorry. This is the stand. This is the windshield and also the holder, the pot holder. And it comes with two pots and it comes with an alcohol stove. This is the actual alcohol stove. I'll put that in the box there. Now, the handle, as I said earlier, there's my frying pan, complete with handle. There's one of my pots. I've never actually used that pot. I've only had this for about 3 or 4 weeks. I got it for my birthday, as I said. And I just keep using the same pot, which is a bit black on the bottom. The same handle fits all. Now, while it might appear bulky, this is magic. You watch what it does. This is the stand. It's full of holes at the top here to allow air into the flame. It's got air holes at the back to allow air in under the unit to fan the flame, and it's got an unholed side so that on windy days you can face that hole to the wind, so not too much wind gets in, and the back current of the wind, or the eddy current as you might wish to call it, will put oxygen through them holes and help fan the flames through there. So it's ideal in windy conditions and calm conditions, and it keeps everything nice and stable. The stove has 3 components. It has the lid, well, it has the stove, which is just a cup with a few holes in the top which suck methylated spirits up and fan the flames out like a little stove top. I fill that with methylated spirits. It's got a lid to carry it around. It also has a flame control device. All it is a lid with a weeny little hole in it, but you can move that lid across like that, and it opens. It's going to be a bit blurry if I come closer with this particular lens, but it opens and closes like that. That is full flame, which is ideal for boiling water and stuff like that. That is a choked flame, and that is just a light simmer. That just allows a little bit of flame through, and when you close it completely, that snuffs the flame and puts it out. That turns it on and off pretty much. For today's exercise, I'm only just teaching you how to do it, how to use it. I'm only going to be boiling water. I'm not even cooking food, because I'm not a chef. I am not Gabriel Gattei. Although sometimes I do get asked to apologise for my French. Right, I'm Robbie Alexander. So we're going to boil water. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the base, the stove, sit it in the top of the base. So get the stove, sit it in the top of the base like that. And that sits in perfect. Can't go anywhere unless you turn it upside down, it falls out. So that sits in there. What I'm going to do is put some methylated spirits in the stove. You can do this with that on, or you can do it with it off. I'll do it with it off. This is a genuine Trangia fuel bottle. You see that? They're not cheap. This cost me $30. But you can unscrew the top, tip it on its side like that, and when I push that in, methane will come out like that. That allows you to accurately put the water in the burner, because you don't want to put the water anywhere else. You don't want it to splash out. So that's coming out now. That's putting a bit of metho in the stove. That will probably do. That will be more than enough to boil the oil. I'll put a little bit more in just in case. I'd hate to run out halfway through filming, although I reckon I've got enough for about 3 boils in there now. That's got metho in it, ready to go. I can put that lid back on. It pays to give it a bit of a shake, just in case there's a few drops inside the little pour there. These are designed so that they don't expand or retract with air pressure changes when you're bushwalking and walking up altitudes. They're also absolutely drip free, and they're fantastic for carrying in your backpack. Much better than just a normal little metho bottle. Because I'm boiling water, I'm not going to use my flame control. That's more for using a frying pan. What I will do is I'll leave all that off. Now I'm going to put my windshield on. Now the windshield, or the stand, if you have a look at this, it has 3 legs like that, or 3 folding little flaps. When they are folded in like that, they will hold the pot down like that, close to the flames. You see that? When you fold those legs in like that, the pot will sit in there and sit just above the flames, and that will also act as a windshield to stop the wind. That means that all the heat is contained to inside this pot, which allows for speedier boiling of water or speedier cooking. When you're frying and you don't want too much heat, especially with aluminium, you fold the flaps out like that. The frying pan sits on top, and it just keeps it a few inches above the flame and catches a lot more radiant heat rather than a whole heat in one spot. That is for frying. But so because I'm boiling, I'm going to put these legs down like so. I'm going to sit that on the top, just turn it around so that it locks in, and there's my unit. There's not much wind today, so it doesn't matter which direction I face the base. I'm now going to get my trusty water bottle with a striped tiger sticker and the bassman sticker on it. My dietitian told me to pimp up my water bottle, so I did. I'll get the one I've already made dirty. I put plenty of water in it. Rightio. Ready to boil. Now I'm going to light this with a big long cigarette lighter. One of these. These are good for stovetops and stuff like that. They're also good for reaching into Trangias. But remember, it's an alcohol stove. Methylated spirits is a form of alcohol, a very strong form of alcohol. In fact, I think my grandfather used to drink it in New Guinea in World War II when he was behind the enemy lines. I'm going to light it with this because it's easy. If you're at the bush and you're not carrying one of these, you can just light it with a match. It's not explosive. If it was petrol, you'd be an idiot to do that. But because it's methylated spirits, it doesn't explode. Or if you're not keen on putting your fingers in with a match or a cigarette lighter, try lighting a long bit of dry grass or an old dry gum leaf or something and just reaching it down. But because I'm in my backyard standing under my shed, because it is absolutely raining very steadily, I'm just going to light it with that. And that is burning. I can barely see the flame, but I know that it's burning. So now, grab my grips, my mobile handle, sit that over the flame, take out the little bug, surprised there's even bugs this time of the year, put the lid on top and wait for it to boil. While I'm waiting for it to boil, let me tell you what happened to me. I went to the doctor last Wednesday. I wasn't feeling really well. I was getting a lot of headaches and stuff. And he said, you just sit there. So I sat there, and he walked out of the room and he came back with a cat. He had this great big hairy moggy. I don't know how it didn't make me sneeze. It was a huge big male cat. And he ran it past my eyes 3 or 4 times. I'm looking at it, wondering, what is he doing? Then he just walked out of the room. And then he came back 5 minutes later with a great big Labrador. He set the Labrador on my lap. He got me to pat it. The Labrador licked me. Then he picked it up and he moved this big heavy Labrador past my face a few times. And then he went away with the Labrador. Then he came back with a bit of paper, ticked a few boxes, and told me to go home and have a few Panadol. And then he charged me $80. And I said, $80. Why $80? What's that for? You know what he said? $40 is for the CAT scan and the other $40 is for the lab report. How's the water going? I can already feel it starting to warm up. It'll probably take 5 minutes or so. Have a look at how green it is. Isn't that just fantastic? We've just gone into August. There's already heaps of runoff pouring into the lakes and waterways and water storages at the moment. Things are looking great for spring. Now while we're waiting for the water to boil, have a quick check. That's got a few boils in it and it's certainly lukewarm. But while we're waiting for the water to boil, let's talk about the pros and cons of cooking with an alcohol stove such as a Trangia. Gas is quicker. So cooking on alcohol like methylated spirits, that's a bit of a con, I suppose, because it's slower. It's always going to be slower, and you may need a little bit more fuel, whereas gas will burn a lot quicker and boil your water faster. A gas stove or a fuel stove can be a lot more compact. They can be smaller and a little more lightweight than an alcohol stove. So they're a bit bulkier and a little bit heavier. But the thing I like, and I prefer to cook on alcohol stoves. I prefer the Trangia. I like the fact that it is so reliable. It's got no moving parts. Nothing can break. It will work. It's got no handles that can break. You know, it's always going to work as a metho burner. I like the fact that I only have to carry one fuel bottle. If you're taking a gas bottle, you can shake it, but most of the time you want to take 2 bottles. Even if you think it's nearly full, you always want 2 bottles just in case it runs out. So where you have more bulk with the fuel stove, you're going to have less bulk by knowing exactly how much fuel you're carrying. If you're only going for a short bushwalk to cook lunch and walk back to the car for a few hours, you can even put the fuel in the actual burner and not even carry a fuel bottle. Methylated spinners or alcohol stoves, they don't freeze. Gas can freeze. A lot of people have been caught when they've been up in the high country bushwalking, they've gone to cook their tea, boil some water for a cuppa or whatever, and the actual barbecue or actual little gas burner has frozen because they've got the wrong gas bottle. You get the butane propane mix. Butane propane, I think it is, 80% and 20%, but I forget which one's which. When you go up in the bush, you want to get less of one and more of the other, and you've got to know exactly what you're doing to make sure you get the one that's not as volatile, because that's the one that freezes more in the cold air. With alcohol stoves, you don't have to worry about any of that. With the fuel burners, like the shallite burners, you've got a little pump and you have to pump it in. But not only that, you have to carry petrol in your backpack with your food and anywhere. And petrol is a very volatile subject, and so is shallite. Shallite is very similar to unleaded fuel, actually. I used to have a shallite burner. I absolutely loved it. It used to roar with heat, and it boiled water very quickly. But you did have to carry either petrol or shallite. I could use petrol, but it was a lot dirtier. Shallite was much cleaner. And you're always wondering when you've got a bottle of petrol or shallite right next to your flame, you hope you haven't got any residue on the outside, sort of thing. Methylated spirits is much cleaner. It's much more cost effective. You can buy a whole bottle just for $1 or $2 at the supermarket. With the gas stoves, you can get 4 canisters for $6 or $7 if you go to cheaper stores. But you've got to buy a converter to use them with a lot of the stoves, unless you buy one of those portable barbecues. With the little compact gas stoves, they take the little screw-in gas bottles and they can be $9 or $10 a shot. Now don't get me wrong, they are very convenient, they work very, very well most of the time. But with the metho, you can buy a whole bottle for like, just a couple of bucks at Woolies or Coles, decant the bottle into your fuel thing like I have here, and that will last you a long, long time just for a couple of dollars. So they're much more cost efficient to run, much more cost effective. You don't have to carry 2 gas bottles. They can't break down and they burn a lot cleaner. I've found with Trangias over the years that people that use them love them. Most people, they're one of those things, you either love them or you don't. You either want a gas stove or you want a Trangia. I can't go past the Trangia. You can just do everything with them, and the thing I like is they're basic. Those that follow my YouTube video will know that a lot of the stuff that I do is basic and simple. I don't like to go into too much technicality, specialist knots, fandango equipment and stuff. I like to keep things as basic as possible because that leads to better relaxation. Nothing comes more basic than a Trangia. That water is so hot that I can barely put my finger in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the camera closer. This is the last you see of me, and I bet you're thankful. And I'll bring it closer and we're going to film the last part of it before it boils. How's it looking? Oh, look at that. It's just starting to boil now. I put that on there just to trap the heat in a bit more. I used to have an El Cheapo metho burner that I bought off eBay from China for about $5 or $6. Yeah, this is why I like that was my introduction to cooking with methylated spirits. Look at that. There we go. See the lid move then? The pressure from the steam is making the lid dance around. That's when you know it's boiling. Now look at that. That is boiling like mad. If I wanted to now, I could have more water in there ready to go. I could put that down. I could take that off. And I could put the next one on. Or if I wanted to cook with a frying pan. I could probably put that in there. And I could put that on there. I'd have to get the things out, which is just a simple case of doing that. And that is ready to go to cook with a frying pan. But look at that. You would want to choke the flames a bit, in which case you'd need to work out a way to put this on to choke the flames. Now look at that. Now I've got a nice little simmer. Just enough heat to cook on a frying pan now. I can put that on there. I can cook myself a couple of sausages, some eggs, whatever I want for lunch. But I won't do that now. Now I want to turn that off. All I've got to do is I can open that. If I open that up, probably shouldn't be using the lighter in there. If I open that lets a lot more flame out. Or I can close it and that'll completely choke the flame. That is choked and it is out. Now what I can do is put my grips on the side here, turn that around till it lines up, take that off. Look at that, beautiful. That's off. Just be careful what you touch here. The Trangias are really good in the sense that they cool down very fast, but it always pays to be a bit careful just in case something is still a bit hot. I've still got half an inch of metho in there. I'm going to put that back in that bottle. Now that's how you use a Trangia, folks. I hope this has helped. Hope you found this informative. Personally, I highly recommend the Trangias. I just think they're absolutely fantastic. They look complex because there's so many parts, but they really are a simple unit to use. And you don't even have to light it through there. You can just light it like that. Now that's lit. Put that on over the fire. Fold them down. And look at that. Now the best way to put that out is to grab that, take the cover off, which will come off if you move it round to the right spot, and then just drop the snuffer on. Out. You little beauty. Water is cooked.